What is happening, everybody? Josh here from Spawn Fly Fish, and today we're tying a crawfish with a ton of spawn elements. We're stoked to showcase this one with you guys and can't wait for you to tie it up and get it out on your local waters. Follow along. Alrighty, in the vise, we have an Ahrex FW550, size number 2. And I do like this hook for this fly because it has a decent gape here. And it's going to really balance very, very well with the spawn football bead. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to lock that spawn football bead into place with some lead-free wire wraps. 5 will do it. Slip that into the slot and pinch off the excess. Voila, looking good. Alright, now we're going to start our thread wraps. We got some Vivas in brown. This is their 140. Sweet. Gonna lock that lead free into place here so that this is not going anywhere. Alright, we're going to work our way up to just before the curvature of the hook here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take one of the smaller feathers here from a hen saddle. I have a grizzly. You could go a lot of different options here. I'm going to use a grizzly, but the purpose of this is going to be to really just to split the claws. So we're going to use this as a way to really push them out. It does a good job, but color isn't as important right here, but I do really like the look of grizzly. And the other material, which I'll introduce here shortly, will also be grizzly. So if you're going to use like a rusty orange or a black, I do like the idea of pairing the two different feathers together. Alright, just throwing some wraps in here. That'll do it. Don't need a lot. Just need something to keep those claws away from each other. There we go. Sweet. Alright, first element is done. We're going to work our thread just underneath that hook shank there. Alrighty, we're going to take a spawn pollywog tail next in brown. So we got a spawn pollywog tail, and we're going to use this as the claws. This isn't an idea that I came up with, rather one that I've seen some of our customers use and wanted to really highlight it today in this fly. So I am going to split it versus tying it in and separating the two so that I get the most out of each side. And it'll allow me to really keep it on the side and allow them to really stick out the way I want them to. Took this largemouth bass fishing this week locally, and it is nice. So look forward to that. Alright. Throw in the other side of that pollywog tail. And the beauty about these pollywog tails is they are oh so durable. So they are not going anywhere. So as you can see there, we got a little bit of crawdad looking already. Sweet. Alrighty, for the next element of this fly, I'm going to give it a little bit of lifelike feel with some easy shrimp eyes. They're simply so easy that I can't not use them. Really big fan of this product. We sell a bunch of them, and never had any issues. Alrighty. Perfect. Those are tied in. And now we're going to start jumping into a few other elements here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get some medium, and this is copper brown wire. I'm cutting this off screen here, but you'll see it here momentarily. Just going to throw that on there. put it on the side here. It's going to allow it to keep out of the way while I use some of these other materials. And this is what I was talking about earlier with matching the two fibers together. So I used the Grizzly hen saddle, so I'm going to use a Grizzly Spey hackle here. And I really am becoming a big fan of this Spey hackle. You'll see in a lot of other flies that I like to use the Voodoo fibers. This would be a good substitute if you don't have a Spey hackle, but I got a bunch of Spey hackles. So we're going to throw some Spey hackle right there on top. We're going to throw a whole mess of them in there. As you can see, I just stripped the whole side of a quill, and we are loading up the top here of this crawdad. Clean that up a little bit here. Keep it looking relatively decent, but if you follow this channel and you follow me tying flies, might not be the cleanest, but they definitely catch a lot of fish. So, alrighty, just looking pretty good. Alright, the next thing we're going to do, like many flies, we try to involve as many spawn elements as possible. So the next two materials are going to be spawn. So this is the Spawn's Fluorescent Southern Peach Ostrich from Hareline that we collaborated with. Really cool color here of ostrich, and I am a big fan of ostrich. Whenever I can sneak it into a product, I will, or into a pattern, I will do so. I'm going to line these fibers up. They don't have to be perfect, but I do want there to be a little bit of consistency with how they're going to extend off the body of this crawfish. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now I'm going to work my thread back to where everything's tied in. And I'm just going to get a couple wraps right over the top here. 3 will do it. Lock it in. This would be a good time for a rubber band if you got one. Alright, we got the ostrich tied in, and now we're going to incorporate another Spawn product. We got the Red Cookies Spawn Semi-Seal here, and we are going to dub this on our thread. Before we do so, we're going to work our thread forward here as we're going to dub back and then back again. And we'll dub it. Be mindful of the ostrich. Ostrich likes to do what ostrich does, and that is move. So if you got a little chip clip, I should have grabbed one. I have one over at my tying desk, but not at the YouTube station yet. And we're just going to start dubbing that Spawn Semi-Seal. This is a phenomenal crawfish color, among other things, but this just really is a good one. Alright, continue to dub our thread here and work this dubbing noodle backwards. I like it a little looser there at the end, so it kind of covers up any maybe tying gaps that I have as an imperfect tire. So it kind of does a really good job of hiding mistakes, you could say. Alright, and now we're going to work our way back towards that Spawn football bead. I'm going to be using this fly for bass here in Washington State. Probably could throw it off the jetty, catch something, but this is going to be a bass fly for me. We have a moderate taper, I would say. Not the best taper in the world, but it's going to get the job done. Alright, one little last pinch here. Going to get a couple wraps in here. Really tighten things up. Good to go. Sweet. Alrighty, all that ostrich that was wiggling all over the place, we're going to bring back over the top. We're going to really try and get an even spread here. So kind of pinch them in your offhands, let them slide over that eye. And keep that right on top of the hook shank. So I'll turn this so you can see it there. That's kind of the look you're going for. And we got the Spawn Semi-Seal underneath. All is looking good so far. Alrighty. We're going to lock that into place. And we are going to trim it. We're not going to trim it all the way yet. So we're going to trim most of it just to keep it out of the way, like so. Alrighty. Last element here, and then this fly is ready to rock and roll. We got our wire here. I'm going to be mindful. I'm going to try and make sure it looks pretty on your side and okay on my side. We're going to wrap and we're going to lock that ostrich down, keeping it right on top. Give that nice contrast here. I'll check here. Wraps look good. Lock that into place here. Don't forget to lock your vise in place. And we are going to trim out that wire. Sweet. Now we're going to give a decent little thread body here to finish. Really solidify this. It's not going to go anywhere, but it is going to get chewed on. Throw in a couple whip finishes. We're ready to go. Come in, brush it out. Throw in a little head cement, which I also forgot to bring over to our little YouTube station here. But you guys get the picture. There it is. Little crawfish. We got some spawn. Pollywog tail, spawn semi-seal, spawns fluorescent southern peach ostrich, spawn football bead, and this thing is ready to rock and roll. The pollywog tails are going to do a good job staying separated, and these fibers coming off with the ostrich and the hackle are going to look phenomenal. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, hit like, hit subscribe, and stay tuned for what's coming next.